I'm Judge Dave Horowitz from Los Angeles. My tip has to do with the presentation by lawyers of matters to the court. The key, I think, and what is forgotten often by lawyers, is that they must present, in addition to the law and the fact that whatever their position is will comport with equity and fairness. An example of that has to do with a criminal case we once had where two defendants were charged with stealing an awful lot of money from the government, and they were both doctors. The presentation that was made by the defense lawyer was that he had presented in written form the briefs, the recommendations from people, the facts of the case. But at the time of the hearing, I had read all of this, and when I went out for the hearing, the courtroom was packed. And what this lawyer had done was receive from people in the community, the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, the head of the bank, the head of the legal services, the head of the child services, and so forth. And what he had done was pack the courtroom with those people. And his presentation simply was that these people had stolen the money, they had taken the money, they are sorry for what they have done, and that they had done a tremendous amount of activity in the community. And these people that were there in the courtroom were there to support them and to ask the court to give them probation, some time in jail, instead of sending them to prison. The presentation was, he stood up, the lawyer stood up, made that very brief argument, and said, Your Honor, instead of having all of these people testify before you in support of my clients, I would simply like to have them stand. And at that point, he raised his hand. All of these leaders of the community stood up in support, and then they sat down. And then he simply said, would Your Honor please give the defendants probation? And so what that lawyer had done was present the law to me that was clear, showed I had the discretion to make the decision that he wished to make, and he showed clearly the fairness of a probationary sentence, which is what he achieved. So I guess my tip is not to forget that whether it's a judge or a jury, the importance of that decision maker to fairness is key. And so that if you can present your motion or your hearing or your judgment or your final argument, you must make sure that the fairness element is always present.